How far, my people? Welcome back to No Gree Entertainment, episode 10. Can you believe it?
Sir, episode 10.
Can't lie. 10 weeks already.
10 weeks.
How you feeling?
Feel great, bro. We made a lot of progress.
Nah, for sure. A lot of progress.
Yep.
Mini supporter base that we formed
Yeah,
in like 2 months, bro.
Yeah, it's been
crazy.
Girl.
But speaking of girl, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I saw something a bit weird on your phone.
My
You know,
phone.
yeah, a bit weird on your phone. That the 20 WhatsApp messages I saw, I think last week, it grew to 40 WhatsApp messages. Can you explain what that's about?
I can actually explain that. I let my uncle, he's staying with us
Yeah.
here, for like the week or two, so I let him log into my WhatsApp. So I don't use WhatsApp like that, bro.
So
you think I'm lying?
So all those messages, all those good morning beautiful messages I saw, it's not you.
Yeah, that's not me.
It's not you.
That's not me.
That's a bit weird though. 'Cause I already saw 20 last
20.
week. Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Bro, on my dead brother Oluwasegun. But like, speaking of WhatsApp, like, why do Nigerian men feel like, the sending 40 good morning beautiful, WhatsApp broadcast messages is a good thing? Like, why do they think that's appropriate?
I think they just see it as like more of a supply chain issue, bro. Because if I'm being honest, like drafting 40 different messages to 40 different women, it's a bit, taxing. So I feel like you just draft one general message, sent to all 40 of them. There's a 2.5% chance that at least one of them will respond. That's how I see it. Obviously, I don't partake in any of those activities, but I'm just saying that's how I see it.
I feel like it's definitely an economical issue.
Yeah.
I feel like, they're putting in more. There's more supply than demand.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're at a surplus with, the amount of women they're sending that message to. It's
Right.
not economically efficient at all.
Nah.
And we already have a bad rep as Nigerian men. So
Yeah.
I feel like for the sake of, like, our future as Nigerian men, because, like, a lot of people don't even want to take it serious anymore,
Nah.
bro, because of how we're portrayed on the internet. But
Yeah.
I feel like, we do play a part, and we got to take accountability and get better with that,
Nigerian man. Accountability.
I don't even think they know what that word means.
Nah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah. What does it mean?
I don't know.
You don't know. You're part of the
It
problem.
was my word of the day, so
Ah.
I kind of just, started learning about it. We're gonna try to, add
Yeah.
that to the arsenal, though. Like, stuff
Maybe
like that.
partake in it.
Yeah, partake.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah. So last month at the wedding that I was talking about earlier, last month, we discussed it off camera, but there was a problem that I kind of want to address with you on the podcast. So essentially, my aunt, she didn't pack us a Ziploc of jollof. She packed us like a mini to-go plate. And I was absolutely astonished and befuddled by the audacity. So I just want to get your thoughts. Can it truly be considered a wedding if your aunt does not pack you a Ziploc bag, extra strength, 2-gallon bag of jollof? Is it really considered a wedding if she just leaves you with the to-go plate? What do you think?
No, I mean, I feel like for most weddings, pretty much all weddings, African Aunties never really go for the wedding. They're going there for a peacekeeping mission for their refrigerators. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to call it.
Peacekeeping.
I feel like, they'll come in with their designer, handbags and whatnot. Them same handbags they came in with, they're going to walk out and it's going to have all types of disformities. And, it's going to resemble like a bag of cement because the amount of food they, taking with them to go could feed a whole village. You know what I mean? So, like, and you'll take a peek in the bag just to be curious, like why does it look like that?
Yeah.
4 plates of fried fish, enough jollof to start a catering business. Enough meat pie to feed a whole, kindergarten classroom. It's just insane work. Like, and when you really think about it in retrospect, when you're not like paying attention to the couple, the dancing and all that, and you look to the corner of your eye, you see that the African auntie who's supposed to be helping with the food, she's really, waiting for everyone to be distracted so she can make her move. You know what I'm saying? She has her bags prepared, her bags ready. She's just, packing all that food. And when it's time to go, they're the first ones to leave, so no one gets suspicious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really just a Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi scheme for sure. That's a perfect way to put it. Okay, what do you think about this? Your auntie, she gives your cousin a little wink when he's in the jollof rice line, which signifies, we know what that signifies, but what do you think about that whole scenario? Your aunt giving your cousin more jollof than you.
I feel like it's just the abuse of power,
Mm.
to be honest. Like that wink, it really, everyone knows deep down inside is, I got you, son.
I got you.
I'm gonna pack your plate. I'm gonna make sure you eat. I'm gonna make sure, we're all fed.
Yeah.
And the audacity for them to even be packing more food, like, I don't know. Like, I have a story, like, I'm gonna keep it short, but there was an auntie, she had a little method. Like, she would scoop some rice, give it to the guests. She'll scoop some rice, put it in her to-go plate. Scoop some rice, give it to the guests. Scoop some more rice, put it into her to-go. By the time, she was done serving all the guests, she had enough rice for everyone to have,
Yeah.
doubles and triples, and
Yeah.
even to go. But, they don't want to hear that. They want all of it for themselves. So.
Right. 100%. Even my little cousins, bro, like, they'll do a stuff mission, like you said. They'll take their tote bags. They'll literally go beforehand, go to Dollar Tree, buy some to-go plates, stuff it in the tote bag, look around like Javi Hernandez, like Sergio Busquets, look around, scan your shoulders like Messi. And then when no one's looking, they'll sneak and slide into the kitchen, pack, 6 or 7 months worth of jollof rice and walk out of there with no shame. I think that's a very big problem at the Nigerian diaspora. We really need to address that.
It's a huge Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
These 8-year-old bald kids, they're literally, like I said, like unpaid interns, for this big Ponzi scheme going on. You know what I'm saying? You see them running around carrying things. You hear, at the corner, you look and hear at the corner of your eye, the kid's getting scolded because he dropped, some plates.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just all like,
it all ties together.
Yeah, they have a whole plan, bro.
Yeah.
It just got to be debunked. Someone's got to.
For sure. I think we already debunked it here.
We did.
For sure.
We did, for sure.
So these kids, what you're saying is that they're working, like they have big family corporations. They're working for their parents under the, and their parents, once they drop the jollof on accident, that scolding is literally the proof in the pudding that they're working. It's just a whole big Ponzi scheme. That's what you're saying.
It's a huge Ponzi scheme, bro. It's like the NFF, the Nigerian Fridge Federation.
Yeah.
That's what I like to call it. We can get into that another day.
Yeah.
So it's just a Ponzi scheme.
Do you feel like the NFF, the Fridge Federation, should like have more funding than the Football Federation? Because I feel like Nigerian football, like, we don't need that money. We should really put our resources towards solving this issue, solving this Ponzi scheme of, these big predatory corporations enslaving children. I don't like to use that word. Putting children through unpaid internships to go fetch their rice and their buns and their meat pie.
Yeah, it's just causing generational, just trauma and it's just bad. Like, these kids are gonna grow up, they're gonna repeat the cycle. It's just gonna be an endless cycle of just, stealing food. And just, I don't know. I just feel like, we definitely debunked it though. So
yeah, for sure.
So, when every kid, well, most kids in a Nigerian household, they turn 16, 17 years old, it's about time to get that license.
Going around 6 or 17?
Yeah, 6 or 17 years of age. Once you turn that age in an African household, the first thing you're going to hear is, get your license.
Yep.
They just want to turn you into an errand runner, but
absolutely,
that's a conversation for
a whole different conversation. Yeah.
It just brings me back, like, I didn't go to a driving school. My dad taught me. My mom taught me how to drive. So
yeah.
I just got trauma because I was like at a stoplight on the way here, and I just heard, like, I was listening to music, but for some weird reason, like, on one of the rap songs I was listening to, I think one of the 808s sounded like an angry African dad yelling, break, why you still, so it just gave me a little trauma. So I kind of wanted to ask you, like, is that even possible for African parents to, like, teach their child how to drive without yelling, break, stop, 3 miles away from the stop sign?
Yeah, that's a really good point that you raise. I have similar experiences when I'm on the road. I think my father left some spiritual trauma and that needs some healing. When I'm driving, I still hear voices in my ear. Nemeka, break the car. Do you want to kill us? Every single time. I feel like, it's definitely spiritually impossible. It has a 0% chance of being possible. And I think they see it as a two-edged sword. They see it as dangerous to their financial ruin and to their life. I think it's actually more of like an involuntary trauma response. They know you're not actually going to crash the car, but they're kind of just wanting to assert their dominance over the vehicle spiritually, so that saying Ekwensu, don't play any games. So that's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, like you said, definitely has a lot to do with trauma.
Yeah.
Like if you try to like learn how to drive on the highway with the African parent, bro, it'll be one of the hardest things you ever do. Cause it's like you already have that anxiety from being a young 16-year-old on the highway, and then you have an African dad in your ear yelling at you to slow down, why you? It's just a lot on the mental. So
Yeah.
I feel like it does definitely help you in the long run.
Yeah.
In a lot of situations and circumstances.
Definitely.
You're able to overcome them.
Yeah. You know, last Sunday I went to Nigerian church for the first time in years. I go to just a regular old Bible church, you know. So I saw something that really shocked me that I wasn't really familiar with. The testimonies. You know, my Auntie Precious, she came to the front of the congregation and she started her testimony from like 1967 or 68. And I was like, excuse me? Because it was kind of disrespectful. You're making the whole service longer than it needs to be. So I kind of want to get your thoughts. Nigerian aunties and uncles, why did they start their testimony from back in the day to just say that they found their missing key today?
Bro, like, to me, I feel like testimony time in a redeemed Nigerian African church is really just like a Nollywood prequel, if we're being for real. Like, that 5-minute limit that the pastor gave them, they don't even hear that. Like, pastor would be like, everyone here, you have 5 minutes to say your testimony, so I can have time to preach.
Yeah.
They don't hear that. It just goes through one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
You know, they have to start talking about how, their dad had a village in 1967, and then how they went through college and had a bunch of pain and trauma, just for them to lead up to, oh yeah, I was able to find my missing key and make it to church today.
Zero
Praise
correlation.
God, hallelujah.
Yeah.
By the time they get to the actual point, the choir's half asleep.
Yeah.
The pastor's just, regretting even having testimony time.
He's already eating his post-service jollof rice.
Yeah, like the people in the audience are literally like getting ready to leave and go to the Chinese buffet.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. So it's just like they can never just get to the point.
Yeah.
Ever. Like they have to lead. And don't even get me started on them using half of the time to sing praise and worship before even getting to their long story.
Yeah.
The bibliography of how they found their key. It's just like the amount of time they spend on the testimonies, bro. Man, it's insane.
As soon as you hear Ekenem Nile Otuto,
it's just get comfortable, cause
oh my days. Everywhere go first blurry, bro. I'm telling you, just go ahead and get your blankets, get your pillows, just get some
snooze fest.
For sure.
So we were all once young kids. All we wanted to do was just watch TV and all that.
Of course.
So, like, I remember when I was like 10, 11 years old, I wanted to watch, this new episode of Phineas and Ferb, before I had to go to sleep. Yeah. It's like 8 or 9 p.m. My bad. It was like 6 or 7 p.m. But I see my dad in the living room. He's snoring so loud, super loud, that he could wake up somebody in a whole opposite state with his snore.
Yeah,
it was that loud. So I'm thinking, okay, he's not even watching the TV, so let me go change it from CNN. So I go reach for the remote. It's like he unlocked some type of ninja-reflex, and like he literally just smacked my hand. He didn't even look. He was still asleep. He was like
one of those James Harden steal.
Yeah, like the James Harden.
Yeah.
Like, hit the ball away without even looking. I was appalled, because it's like, why? How do you even have this attribute unlocked? How did you do that?
Purple badges.
Like, do you not see me watching it? I was like, you're asleep. Like, I'm trying to watch TV. It's like, oh, go watch something else. Go somewhere else. I'm watching CNN. So I'm like, all right, bro. So I feel like I just want to ask you, like, is that a violation to their human rights, like African dad's human rights, if I, attempt to change the channel from CNN, even though they're like fast asleep?
Yeah, I definitely think it is a human rights violation. You think they're sleeping, but have you ever noticed, like, every single time that you've attempted that, they've woken up the split second after? The reason for that is because they're in a state of geopolitical meditation. They're hearing the news through auditory osmosis. So when you think they're sleeping, they're really just absorbing all of the information, absorbing and observing. When I'm like 6 or 7 years old, trying to get better at my football skills, put on some Neymar highlights, and I slowly try to grab the remote. He smacks my hand. That's because you really just had the audacity to switch from Anderson Cooper to Neymar, and obviously his reflexes are gonna react because you just disrupted his wavelength. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like when they're asleep, they're really just, you know, they just become one with the CNN.
Yeah.
Like all the information that's flowing in the air, it's not just going through one ear out the other. It's processing in their minds somehow. Like I said, African parents, they were made in like a lab. Like they're not real. So, the way they operate and move, it's a lot more different. And, I guess, younger me learned to respect that day.
So you're saying it's more, obviously nothing can be likened to God, but you're thinking it's like more of a holy trinity, but it's just a duality. Just CNN and African parent, they just fuse to become one.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like, I feel like that's, when you really look at it, it's really his only form of entertainment. So
Yeah.
I can't really get in the way of that. Even though I'm a young kid, 9 or 10, I want to watch, Phineas and Ferb go crazy.
Yeah.
But, I have to respect that. So
For sure. So, obviously you know this. 2 months ago, I got my chieftaincy title. I'm officially a chief. But something really stood out to me before the whole ceremony. I was in Nigeria for it, so they had to, do some measurements to get my attire, to send my attire to the States. My dad, he asked to take pictures of me. He took about 6 or 7 pictures of me. And I was confused because, like, how are you going to get the measurements from simply those pictures? That just leads me to my question. Do you think pictures are enough? Like, why do African tailors think pictures are enough to find your measurements and give you perfectly fitting native attire?
I feel like most African tailors, they swear they have some type of like prophetic vision. They think, they can look at the photo and then automatically know your waist length, your shoulder circumference, and all your measurements from top to bottom. Next thing you know, your natives come in the mail a year or two later.
Yeah.
Obviously, because they never bring it on time.
Yeah.
You try it on, and you literally need like 3 gallons of olive oil, 2 days of prayer and fasting, just for you to be able to fit inside the native. Like, by the time you get into the native, you end up looking like a stuffed sausage, overflowing, and like your limbs are squeezed tight, and it's like just impossible to breathe. You know what I'm saying? I feel like with tailors, like, they think you're gonna go through some type of like divine weight loss journey, slimming journey, just so you can fit in
their
there.
clothes.
So
Yeah.
they think making everything well fitted is the way to go, but you're gonna be spending an hour or two just trying to take your shirt off, just because of that. So I really never got the concept. Like,
Nah, me
just
either.
let me come to you and you measure me.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like, to be honest, them taking a picture is just adding on to their procrastination. They get that picture, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
I have the picture, so I can work now.
Yeah.
They don't want you to come to the office and physically see them do that, because it's like they know they're BS and they know they're not really putting in work.
Yeah.
So they just want you as far away as possible.
You broke that down. I don't really have anything else to add. That was just perfect
I'm
analysis.
telling you, it's all connected.
It's all connected.
It's all interconnected in
Yeah.
a way. Like, African tailors, they never have your stuff
On
ready.
time.
And then they want to get a picture of you so they can get your waist measurements and circumference.
We were just talking about the last episode.
It makes
It's
no
crazy.
sense.
Yeah.
Like, the first time my dad did it, he told me, yo, let me take a picture of you so I can send. Bro, I'm like, and I'm 10, and I already know, like, how is that going to work? How is she going to know my height? How is she going to know all this stuff? So it's just common sense at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And when you don't have the native, like, when you have the native in your closet not wearing it, then it's my fault. Like, I'm the one getting chastised by my parents, because, I didn't want to injure myself trying to fit into this, tiny native that's really essentially created for my little brother.
Yeah. So you think it's like a form of like assault, technically?
I feel like it's child abuse in a way.
Yeah, child abuse, but like it's also assault because you're trying to suffocate the client. You're trying to suffocate me in the native attire I just bought for you.
Yeah, like,
Bought from you.
like I said, stuffed sausage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be walking around looking like I had some type of Victor Wembanyama growth spur overnight.
Yeah.
So this all has happened to us. you're chilling upstairs, playing your 2K or whatever, doing whatever you gotta do, doing homework. Next thing you know, you hear your name getting yelled across the house very loudly. So you get up, go see what's the problem. You're thinking your mom's telling you to move your car so she can, leave, or, to bring in the groceries or something productive. She tells you, come downstairs and give me the remote. So you come downstairs, you're already frustrated because it's like you're already downstairs. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And she tells you to get the remote. You're looking around thinking it's in another room. And then she hits you with the, are you blind? It's right there. So you go walk over and you hand it to her. And then you're just like, you're trying so hard not to give her like an attitude. But it's like, it's literally, all you had to do is get up and then, pick it up and go back to your seat.
Mm.
So my question to you is like, is, an African mom asking you to get the remote when it's literally 3 feet away from her, like an exercise of, power, or, she's just portraying wickedness?
Definitely a mix of both, but I'd see it as more of a power piece because, I came back from football practice, scored a hat trick in the scrimmage. My legs are sore, I'm laying in my bed trying to rest, and you're screaming my name to walk down, burn an extra 168 ATP, adenosine triphosphate, just to hand you a remote that is 3 inches away from your finger. I mean, if that's not a power abuse and if that's not wickedness, I truly do not know what is. I mean, I see it as just a way to establish the dominance of the structural hierarchy of the household. So just know that when you hand her that remote, you're just renewing your lease.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta kind of tell yourself like, I don't have nowhere else to stay. I don't have nowhere else to stay. So that really keeps you going. I feel like they really do it to just test you. They wake up and they're like, let me see if this boy has lost it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't fall for the hezzy. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
For sure. I was in class earlier this week, and I was just thinking about something. My teacher, she called roll for the first time. My professor, she called roll, and I hadn't done that in a very long time. I guess the system was down. She just needed to do the old school way, and so she called my name, and she said, "Okalof." Mind you, my name is Okafor. Standard, proper, Abagana, last name. She called me Okalof. And, in my lifetime, I've heard Okfor. I've heard, some funny, just butchered versions of my name. So I guess my question to you is, why do teachers in the West act like an African name is a 5-unit calculus course?
To be honest, great question. I feel like they're all just wired the same. Every time I see a substitute teacher in the classroom in the place of my regular teacher, I just know it's going to be a long day.
Just giggles, yeah.
Just giggles, straight laughing.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say the role, like Sarah here, Marcus here. They get to the name like Oluwaseun, they'll act like they just saw a ghost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'll look at your name like it's an ancient hieroglyphics Greek word. You know what I'm saying? And like, when they produce the sound like that's supposed to be your name, it'll sound like a Harry Potter spell. Like desks will start flying.
Yeah.
People start levitating. So and like when she finally like produces the confidence to say your name, it's gonna sound like a Harry Potter spell. You know what I'm saying? Like desks are gonna start levitating, students are gonna start flying, etc. And it's just like I said, they say the name Oluwaseun, bro, like a white teacher, she'll probably be like, Oluwaseun, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you just kind of got to raise your hand super fast and say present before she, continues to butcher your name.
Absolutely.
And by the time, that time it's too late. Like, everyone's already laughing at you.
Yeah.
Everyone's already, like, trying to pronounce your middle name, too. So it's just, like, a lot,
Yeah. Don't you find it funny that the first Sarah, she'll call her Sarah. Michael, she'll call him Michael. When it comes to your name, she'll intentionally try to pronounce your last name. Not even, your name's Anthony.
Yeah.
She'll just go straight to Oluwaseun.
Yeah. Like, she'll ignore my full she'll ignore my full first name.
Yeah.
Which is Anthony.
Yeah.
And then she'll just go to Madubel.
Exactly.
Like, bro, you calling everyone their first name.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not ashamed of my name.
Absolutely.
But make it easy for yourself.
Exactly.
Like, my name's Anthony.
Yeah.
Modupe Oluwa is my name as well, but
Yeah.
you clearly you're struggling. So, and nobody calls me by my middle name.
Mhm.
So I feel like they do it to get a laugh.
For sure, it's a form of, it's a microaggression at the end of the day. It's something I never tolerated. So,
Yeah.
bro, I'm not gonna lie. The other day, my dad, he shamed me, like he embarrassed me so much. We were at HEB, the Lord's Market, and we went to buy some chicken. We got some stuff from the international aisle. I don't know what he got, but we went to get to the counter to check out. And he looks at the cashier and he asks, he said, boss, $3 for the chicken. It was like $6, $6 or $7. The rotisserie chicken. He was like, boss, $3. The cashier was looking at him funny. I just looked at the cashier. I was in the back. I was like, this. And the cashier, he brought his manager out, and surprisingly, they actually did the $3 for him. It was still kind of embarrassing because all the Oyibo people were just around us. They were just looking at us, staring us down, giving us funny looks, But that just leads me to my question. Why do African parents negotiate prices that are literally bolted down to the floor?
I feel like going to the store with an African parent is like an extreme sport, to be honest.
Extreme sport.
Like, it takes a lot of mental capacity to be able to handle something like that. Like, I went to Best Buy with my dad one day. We were looking for TVs for our new house, and we saw one that looked really good, 75-inch brand new Samsung TV, and the price at $1,200. And highlighted, bolded, stamped right on the TV, smack that right in the middle. And my dad's gonna look the teenage Best Buy employee in his eye and say, "I have $400 for you. Take it or leave it." And I'm just like, bro. Like, I felt so embarrassed because it's like the price is like set. You know what I'm saying? You can't, like, this isn't Nigerian street food. Like,
Yeah.
It's not suya. You can't negotiate the price lower. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, it takes a lot of, mental toughness to
For
be
sure.
able to, be there and endure all that. So
Yeah. That teenager is literally trying to save up to buy his BMW 330i, his
yeah.
first car. Like, you're
Like,
giving him all the shit, yeah.
He's
Why?
just there for J's. Like,
Yeah.
you think the Samsung, like, CEO is in the back hearing all this, and, thinking maybe I should lower my prices.
Yeah.
No. And I feel like you cussing them about it, and they'll be like, "Oh, it never hurts to ask."
Yeah.
Like, the price is set though. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in the middle of February. It ain't Black Friday. There's no deals going on. So.
Yeah. Definitely, it's super embarrassing.
Yeah, for sure. But we talked about a lot today, bro.
For sure.
Lie.
People been asking, we answered.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Yes, sir.
Stay blessed, and please tune in because we got a lot more
In store for sure.
for sure. All right,
Make sure y'all join the Discord.
just join the Discord for real.
The
It's gonna be in the description.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for watching. Stay blessed.